and welcome back to the Double DSQ, a Formula One podcast. My name is Hayden. You can find me at TikTok and uh, at, sorry, this is a new username. I still have to get used to it. You can find me on TikTok at Hayden's.hyperfixations and on Twitter and Instagram at MCUYTD. And my brainworm of the week is a truly diabolical stat I only came together with, um, the other day. So
Oh no.
I was watching the Spanish Grand Prix from 2016, as one does, because it was
As one
the
does.
10-year anniversary of the infamous Mercedes crash, lap one, corner four.
Hmm.
And I realized that Daniel Ricciardo and Charles Leclerc have the exact same number of race wins. They both have 8.
Oh. Oh. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. Like, I put it together and I was like, ugh! So
Yeah.
yeah, and actually in that race, Daniel Ricciardo started in front of Max Verstappen because it was Max Verstappen's first
Mm.
weekend in the Red Bull seat, but we'll get into that later.
Crazy stat. Like that was just an
Insane.
insane race, like
Yeah.
all over.
But Robin, why don't you go ahead and
Okay.
introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Robin. You can find me at Twitter and TikTok at Forza Rebellion. And my brainworm of the week is just virtual production as a thing because I have that has been my life basically for the last 2 weeks and also prior because I'm university stuff. We have virtual production kit, which is sick as hell. And it's so much fun to use, but we're doing like mini 1 minute films and I'm
Mm.
VFX producing them, so I'm on all of them. There's 4 of them.
Ooh.
So I've just had a very busy few weeks.
Can't
And
imagine
I
why.
finished university on Friday, so I'm also just like that's basically all I've been thinking about.
Mm.
So yeah, virtual production just as a whole, I guess, is my brainworm.
Mm-hmm. By the time this episode goes out, it will be race week. It is race week in Canada at the Circuit Juveneuve for the Grand Prix du Canada. I did Spanish instead of French in school, as you can probably tell.
I did
Um,
French, so
First, let's get into some news. So,
Mhm.
according to the FIA, as of a statute that came like about 2 weeks, maybe, I think, a couple weeks before the first race in Australia,
Yes.
Mercedes have to change their engine after Canada
Hmm.
because it was the infamous compression ratio with the loophole, but they closed the loophole. What do you think about it, Robin?
I originally was very, very mad about the engine of it. I still kind of am, but I've kind of just accepted fate at this
Can't
point.
imagine why.
Who knows? Yeah, no one can never guess why. But I am really curious to see if anything changes once they change the engine. Like that's the main thing I'm interested to see
Hmm.
because it will kind of prove, I guess, whether the compression ratio thing that everyone got mad about, myself included, is actually like a big enough deal that having
Yeah.
changed it will close the field up a bit.
Hmm. Another thing to note that we kind of touched on either last episode or the first episode, I can't remember, but Mercedes will also be bringing upgrades to Canada
Oh, yeah.
because of the whatever the engine gap ratio is, they couldn't
Mm,
bring them before in Miami, but McLaren did, Aston Martin did not, but basically everybody did.
hmm.
But Mercedes because they could not legally. So they're bringing a couple of updates to Canada before they, have to change their engine or update their engine
Yes.
and then send the software or whatever updates they have out to their customer teams. I'm trying to look
Yes.
around and see um what exactly they're gonna bring because I know they said like somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I know the
This
FI
is
puts stuff out like weekend of race.
mhm.
Because that's when everyone's like, "Oh my God, look at what my team's bringing," and then everyone
Yeah.
else gets mad.
Um the only thing I can find from like the FIA
Hmm.
is just like talking about how updates are gonna be like allowed. It's the 4% rule within the manufacturer, whatever, blah blah blah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but let me see. Mercedes. So they will be bringing upgrades to the race start package and they will have reduced the weight of the car. Additionally, it
Interesting.
looks like they're updating the front wing, which I know a lot of people have been scrutinizing and saying, "Oh, it's illegal, blah blah blah."
Mm, yeah.
Um, but this is probably it's probably going to be the biggest upgrade that they're going to bring for the season, besides whatever upgrades for the engine that they do.
Mm.
And of course, with the race starts, Kimi Antonelli does not have a really great
No,
history
I
with
think
those.
he has the highest stat of lost places at a
Oh yeah,
start
that
for this
that does
year.
not surprise me.
Nope.
It's something crazy like 4 or 5 places, isn't it?
Yeah, he loses so many per race, and
It's
he just has the most diabolical stat.
I know. I think
Poor
so
guy.
far this season, the only thing more diabolical is the 6 pit stops for Alex Albon during
We're never gonna
during
let them live
Japan.
that down because that is just
That's
ridiculous.
crazy. I cannot believe they would do that to him. And he was going like pretty okay too for
Yeah, he
a
was
Williams.
15th, which isn't like terrible.
Yeah.
And then they were like, no.
Apparently Max Verstappen um had to DNF the 24 hours of the
Oh,
Nürburgring
yes, he
yesterday.
did. He did. I can't. Yes. We do you want to talk about that?
I mean, I only saw the clips, but if you watch the full race, go
I
ahead.
I didn't watch the forest. I watched some of it last night because I was uh bored and I was crocheting cats because, as you do. Um and yeah, and I woke up this morning and it was still going and I think Max was still driving when I woke
Hmm.
up. And then like an hour later my entire timeline is just on fire because every single Max Verstappen fan is crashing out because the car's gone into the pits and Danny, I think the guy who was in the car at that time, got out and everyone was like, "Oh, okay, so we're screwed. We're done." And it
Hmm.
watching them all crash out was really funny. I can't lie. I have much love for all of my Max friends, but it was very funny because he has this like in endurance racing, he has had Charles Leclerc level luck.
Oh no, terrible.
He has had such terrible luck, and it was
Someone
a
someone
drive
made a
shaft
tweet
issue.
about it. They
Yeah.
like they had a list of everything that had gone wrong for
I
Max
know
Verstappen.
exactly which tweet you are on about, and it's all since he used the number 3, and everyone's like,
Yes!
please God, can you get rid of that number? It is cursed. I'm just saying, the number 69 is still available, Max.
It's still available.
You could
Okay,
still do it. But
Max
yeah, it was a
Verstappen.
drive shaft issue, I think,
Mhm.
for the
Max
2024.
Verstappen since taking number 3 in 2026. Australia out in Q1 because he crashed, finishes 6th. China DNF. Nordschleife loses the win because his team used too many tires and got disqualified. Japan 8th. Nordschleife 5. 39th due to car repairs. Miami spins 360 on lap 1, finishes 5th. 24 hours of the Nürburgring, mechanical issue, drive shaft, while the team is leading.
Yep. Yeah, they were in P1 and then the car just went kaput. Like 3 hours before the end of the
Oh.
race, mind you.
Oh my
Like they were
God.
so close to finishing.
And let me tell you, I watched some of the clips of the overtakes that Max did.
Oh
Is he
yeah.
insane? He
Yes. Yes.
he Oh my God, I felt like I was watching NASCAR or something. He got so close. And well, to be
Same with the
honest,
overtakes when it was pitch dark as well.
oh
He has
no,
no fear.
zero. And I
It's
saw in one clip
incredible.
he got like airborne at one point as he was trying to overtake. What is he okay?
No, I don't think so. But it does make for good racing. So
That's true.
as long as
And
no one gets hurt, can't really complain.
And I also must put a disclaimer. I've never watched a WEC race or anything like that.
Mm.
I have no concept of what the racing is like there, but oh my good goodness, those overtakes I saw from the driver cam were crazy.
I watched the only work race I've well, kind of. It was the ELMS Barcelona, I think the first
Mm,
one this year. Yeah. Um, not gonna lie to you, low-key boring.
mm,
But I watched it for Jack Doohan and Dorian
yeah.
Pan.
The
Um,
Queen.
Yes, exactly. They came third in their first race, which was crazy.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, so like they are kind of boring to me, mostly
Mm,
because not really much happens,
hmm
and it's like 4 hours long minimum.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of time of cars just going in circles. But it is fun, and it's fun to sort of have on as background noise more than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
I
did watch a bit of the 24 and 24.
I kept seeing things about the Dacia that's like
Yeah.
neon green and blue. And I don't know if you're a Top Gear fan, but all I kept thinking in my head was James May has got to be positively chuffed. It may not be a Sandero, but there's Dacia representation at the 24 hours of the Nürburgring.
That yeah, I saw a someone made a hose mad edit of the car.
I saw that too.
Oh, I love this fandom. It's so fantastic.
And then there was another clip where apparently there was like oil slick on the road. The Dacia
Mm.
went by just fine, and then all the GTs behind it slipping and sliding. I mean,
Oh,
this is just proof that sometimes style and flair isn't always everything.
real. So true. Oh, but yeah, very interesting.
Long story
Either
short, poor Max Verstappen.
God, yes. Jesus Christ.
He has just
His
not had a
luck.
very good 2026.
He has not. He needs to get rid of the number three. I would be
Yeah.
interested to see if he got
If he
rid of the number
does,
three and then he just gets better.
69, 69.
60. Exactly. I genuinely, when it was like it was a possibility that he would go with that, I was genuinely hoping that he would, just for
No,
the bit. Like,
he
it's
would.
such a funny concept.
The thing is that he was like fully for it. Like
Yeah.
it was going to be a thing. And then,
Yeah.
he got the number three.
I
Okay.
fully believe Kelly put her foot down and was like, "You're not racing under the number 69. I am not letting you do that." Like, I fully believe that because he was so excited about the prospect of racing with the number 69
Like,
and then doesn't use it. So I'm like fully convinced that Kelly had the say in that.
someone had to have intervened
Yeah,
because he was all ready for it.
exactly. He was proving it when he got his 69th win by holding the thing upside
Yeah.
down. Like,
Uh, he's so funny.
oh, I love him. I really do.
And then one last news thing before I forget. As of
Mm.
recording this video, qualifying for the Indy 500 is
Mm.
occurring. I have worn my one and only piece of IndyCar merch besides a St. Petersburg shot glass for Christian Rasmussen, number 21.
Oh, so I
Um,
still can't believe my Unibar was playing that the other day.
yeah,
I
what
looked
the
up and I
heck?
saw St. Petersburg IndyCar Grand Prix and I was like, what?
That's so
This was a
random.
while ago.
Because granted, it was a very entertaining race and very
Yeah.
eventful race because even like on the first lap, I forget who it was. Maybe it was Stingray Rob. I think this is all Stingray Rob's fault, but Stingray Rob like turned and then fainted out, and then Mick Schumacher like drove into Santino Ferrucci, and it was both of the end of their races at the very first corner, or like the first corner or two, and then Will Power is like in a saw trap because okay, I was there. This is how it was explained to me. So remember, this is for context, this is Will Power's very first season with Andretti after being with Team Penske for most of, if not his entire career.
Right.
Another thing to note is that I believe Andretti is Honda and Team Penske is Chevrolet. So this is like different
Right.
engine manufacturers and he's still getting used to whatever. So, first of all, got put in a saw trap because he either crashed in practice 2 or qualifying the day before. Don't remember which one, but he was just not having a good time. During the race, he was just losing places left and right, and then he came into the pits for a mechanical issue for what I thought was a retirement. And they were broadcasting like the race radio around, and I was like, "Oh, he's in the pits." And then they also had it on the jumbotron. And then all of a sudden, I see Will Power is like back, and on the screen, 12 laps down, and then he's 15 laps down, and then he goes into the pits again, comes back out, 25 laps down, 28 laps down, 30 laps down, like. He just kept going, and I can't remember if he finished the race or not,
He
but
didn't. He didn't.
he didn't.
No.
was just in a saw trap the
The
entire weekend.
funniest part about the like race order is that he was behind someone that went out. Like he
He
was
was
behind
behind.
a retired car because he was 30 laps down.
I don't know. Like, I guess again, how it was explained to me is that he wanted to come out and do more practice in the car because this is like his first race length practice in
Hmm.
the car with his brand new team. But seeing 30 laps down on Jumbotron, it's just crazy.
Poor guy. I
uh,
did try to see if I could see you in the crowd
you
at the
did?
end. I couldn't.
No,
I don't know if I just missed you, but I couldn't see you.
I was like on the very back straight. I was on the pit wall. So like people were doing the pit stops in front of me. And Scott Dixon. Oh my God, I forgot about Scott Dixon. So Scott Dixon, legend in IndyCar, his little like pit box was basically like right in front of me. And I don't know if you were watching the race, but one of his tires flew off. So it wasn't bolted on correctly. So we got to like the first or second turn, like after crossing the finish line, boom, tire
I think I did
flies
see that
off.
bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I did
tire
see that
flies
bit.
off, like lands on the tires in like the tire barriers.
Hmm.
And then I watched that pit stop happen and I noticed something wrong with like the back left wheel. I was like, is that okay? And it comes on the Jumbotron and people were like laughing because it was so ridiculous. And then Liv was also watching the race on Fox. And apparently one of the guys yelled so loud that it was heard on the broadcast. I obviously heard it because I was in person, but it got aired live on the broadcast because it was so loud. And apologies to future Robin for having to bleep that, but it was just incredibly funny. And then
Oh my God.
Alex Pillow won as he
Hmm.
should. I will see if the pole sitter will come up soon. I don't know if it, honestly, I don't know if it will,
Hmm.
but qualifying was rained out yesterday. So it was like raining. The track did not dry off in time. So all the
Oh.
people that were there Saturday, like
Hmm.
no cars on the track because it was so wet and it hadn't dried out in time.
Oh wow.
So they canceled it with like an hour left in the day, and they said
Yeah.
all the tickets would be honored today. And they had like an extra practice session in the morning, and then they did the first part of qualifying, which also, let's talk about the qualifying format for this year for the Indy 500 because what in the hell is happening? Because there was like, you know, the sound where it's like, only after you get two cards can you move your placard 5 places on TikTok. That's exactly what I feel like when I was reading the instructions and like the guidelines for qualifying. I have no idea what is happening. And then my very good friend Kira at what is it, Formation Yap podcast, I believe. She actually recorded a podcast episode and like broke it down with a whiteboard and everything. And then I finally understood it.
Ah, that's nice.
Yes, it was
Yes.
very kind. Um, but it's nonsense. I'm gonna tell you nonsense. And like to this day, I am still like a very, I don't want to say casual because I keep up with pretty much everything, but I'm not like as well versed in IndyCar as I am with Formula One. So
Hmm.
just watching this all happen from afar, because I have
Hmm.
friends who are like all in on IndyCar. I'm still like on the outskirts, like just getting into the real like meat of the sport.
Yeah.
What is going on, you guys? What in the world is happening over there? Um, the actual race itself airs like directly after Canada. So if there's
Hmm.
any like red flags or delays or anything, it's gonna cut into the Indy 500. And I mean, we all know why they moved Canada or they swapped Canada and Monaco around. So they would
Mm.
try and get more people for to watch Monaco instead of Indy 500 because traditionally they've always aired on the same day and it's like I don't want to say stolen viewers from Monaco, but like, sorry, who's watching Monaco? I keep getting notifications from IMAX saying, "Oh, we're
I
showing
cannot believe of all races they've chosen
Monaco."
Monaco.
Look, if I wanted to go and watch a parade at 200 miles an hour, I will do it from the safety of my couch. I will
Yeah,
not be watching that in IMAX. I will not be paying 20, $30, however much it is
that
for,
is so much.
yeah,
That's
maybe with AMC
ridiculous.
A-list. I don't know, but
Maybe, yeah, but still, it's Monaco.
yeah, it's
I
Monaco.
I get tired in the cinema on the best of days. I feel like
Yeah.
I might actually be fighting
Oh,
sleep
I
watching
will
Monaco in
fall
the cinema.
asleep. Yeah.
Yeah, much love to Monaco. I understand why it's on the
Like it is a very
calendar.
beautiful track. Like you cannot
Yes.
deny that
Hmm.
the turns are picturesque, the views of the French Riviera, I don't know. No, the south of France are very nice. I don't know. I don't know European uh geography that well. But I mean the views are very nice. There's a lot of glitz and glamour.
Hmm.
Obviously, it's the crown
Yeah.
jewel in Formula One's crown.
Yep.
But it has not been entertaining the past few years. The only times it's been entertaining have been when people have crashed
Yeah.
and led to red flags, safety cars, etc.
Yeah. It'll be interesting this year, I think, just to see how the cars run with it.
Hmm.
Well, obviously, the new updated regs, but I do
Yeah.
still have a feeling it's going to be a parade.
No. It's the cars are not small enough to overtake.
No.
They even because they're not doing the because last year they had the two pit stop, like the minimum rule, but then people
Mm.
because they were so spaced out, they basically got like a free pit stop. So they're
Yeah, they were
taking away
like
that rule.
purposefully
Yeah.
backing up packs. Yeah.
Hmm.
I was gonna say I do think that there should be like minimum two pit stops at every race.
Mm.
I do think that because it would make it more strategy,
Hmm.
which I don't know why I'm asking for this because a certain red team are not going to do well, would not do well with it. But like, I just think it would make it more interesting if they had to do like minimum two pit stops with two different sets with more like different sets of tires,
Yeah.
like they used to do.
I agree with that. And actually, that's a great segue for a race we rewind. However, first we have to do our Canada predictions.
Yes.
So we can start off with who do you think is going to get sprint pole, Robin?
Um, George Russell, maybe. It's gonna be Merc.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
I would
because
have to
they
agree with that.
won in Miami without any upgrades and they're bringing
Mm-hmm.
upgrades. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a Mercedes. Um, did you, sorry, this is completely unrelated. Did you see George watch the N24?
Did?
Yeah, he posted earlier that
Oh
he
my
was
God.
watching the Nürburgring 24 hours. Which just made me laugh.
Say,
'Cause obviously he's watching it because Mercedes.
yeah.
But the concept of George Russell watching Max Verstappen race
I
in
was gonna
24 hours on the
say, I was
Nürburgring
gonna
was
say,
really funny to me.
say what you will about their relationship. They will find each other in any universe.
Yes,
Or
yes.
I have a meme that I literally made. I don't remember what I made it for. It was probably something about Colton Herta, as my girlfriend said. But it's the picture of of Peter Griffin and Lois, and it says
Oh my
she would find him in any racing series. That is
God.
basically Max Verstappen and George Russell.
Yes, it is. Okay, anyway, sorry, that just reminded me. But yeah, I my poll for sprint is Mr. George Russell. Who is
Mr.
yours?
Saturday himself.
Mm-hmm.
Mine, mm, my poll for the sprint, I feel like it's gonna be someone unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Oscar because I'm not gonna curse him like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm gonna say Mr. Kimi Antonelli. Um, not Antonella. He's not a pasta.
I don't think he'd be
He
mad if he was.
no.
Not to stereotype, but you know.
I just think with Mercedes is past couple races with the ride setups, and I'm still not over the wrong engine mode in the race for
That
poor
was
George.
ridiculous.
Insane. I think he is gonna win out against George for this battle.
Hmm.
Will he get the race pole? At least according to me, we will see.
Okay, so sprint. Who is your P3?
P3, I'm gonna put Mr. Papaya, Mr. Lando Norris. I feel
Okay.
like I was also considering pole for him for the sprint
Hmm.
because I mean, obviously he got the sprint pole and won from pole in Miami.
Yeah.
Um, but past experiences aside, he has gone really well at that track. Who's to say how the Mercedes upgrades will affect the sprint this year and just how they, I guess, stack up or at least um pull away from the field with the new wing and whatever.
Yeah.
But I still feel like Lando has, gone pretty well and does pretty well in a sprint. So he is my
Hmm.
third, but he's not quite up to par with some of the other drivers. So, Robin, who's your third place for the sprint?
Um, I've forgotten every driver. Oh, I'm not cursing my boys this weekend, so I'm not saying them at all, as much as I would love to. I Oscar, I think, possibly.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, McLaren are doing well.
Mm-hmm. All right, now second place for the sprint. Who do you think will be on the sprint podium next?
I'm gonna go rogue, and I'm gonna say Max Verstappen.
I was thinking him like in my head.
Yeah.
I feel like I mean he went pretty well in
Yeah.
Miami. Wait, where did he end up for the sprint in Miami? I don't remember.
Fifth. Did he stay fifth? Was he married to P5 last weekend? Not last weekend. Miami.
I don't think so. Hold on. Computer. He was fifth. He was married
Hey,
to
I was right.
P5. I think for the race he finished fourth. And even before his penalty and oh no, he was married to P5
No, he
last
was
weekend.
fifth. Yeah.
My God, you're right.
Because, yeah. Yeah.
He would find P5 and no, that's a bad joke. Um,
Okay. Who is your second place for the sprint? A sprint.
I'm gonna do Mr. George Russell.
Okay.
I feel like, again, with the upgrades, I can't remember how bad passing was last year, mostly because I was getting ready to graduate
Mm,
undergrad and I was only like partially watching it.
yeah.
But depends on if the new updated regs reduce a lot of super clipping, and I hate saying that word, but you have to
Mm,
nowadays. Um, but I feel like if Kimmy's on pole, then George is going to be good as well. Maybe not as good as he would
yeah.
be if his if his engine was in the right strategy mode. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, that's my explanation.
Okay. Okay. Who is your winner of the Canadian sprint?
Winning from pole is Mr. Tortellini himself, Kimi Antonelli. Depending on if his race start is as good as it has not been, let's just
No.
say. Um, I feel like, but also he has had a lot of good fortune. So he has had a
Yeah.
terrible race start in almost every single Grand Prix. Miami was decent; it was not that bad. I
Mm,
think he only lost a place or two, but just otherwise, terrible, terrible losses um in his race start. But I just have a feeling we're gonna get another safety car, another crash because let's not forget we have the Wall of Champions at
oh
in
yeah.
at Sukujibanub.
Oh
So
yeah.
will Lando Norris how do I say this? Make love to the wall? Perhaps just in a different format than he did last year. Remains to be seen. But it is ready and waiting to claim someone who
Yep.
we don't know, but it is there. There will likely be some sort of safety car situation. Whether it will
Hmm.
happen in the sprint, we don't know, but I'm just saying he's had a lot of good fortune and it is there.
Hmm.
So Kimi Antonelli is winning the sprint from pole.
Okay. My winner is I'm gonna stick also with pole win conversion and say George. I have no reasoning other than Mercedes is
Mm.
quick and George needs a good weekend. And I'd like for him to win something
Yeah,
because
can't believe we're saying this, but it's been a while.
it has been a while. Yeah, I feel bad for him.
Last thing he won was the sprint in China, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm,
Poor guy.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah. Okay. Canadian
So,
Grand Prix.
who's your pole sitter?
My pole sitter is I'm switching Mercedes drivers and going with Kimi Antonelli,
Mm.
Mr. Italian himself. Um, I yeah, he's had a really good run with
hmm
poles. Um, and I do kind of think that's going to continue on. Whether he wins from them is a different matter, but I think he's still going to keep getting them.
hmm
Unless they do manage to get George's car in the right configuration, because that way he might actually get a good result that's not like
Shocking, right?
X. Has he done better than P6? Has he been
P4?
married? P4. Oh, did he come fourth
He did
in Miami?
after penalties, yes. But I think he also got
Good.
P4 in either Japan or China. No, China he was on the No.
No.
I think he might have been P4 in Japan,
Right. Okay.
I believe. So,
I don't remember.
hopefully he
I
won't
lose
be too
track of
married to it.
people. Hopefully. I'd like to see him on the podium again.
Yeah. I want to
That
know
would
if
be
they have a
nice.
special podium cap like they did last year.
Ooh, maybe.
I'll have to go to the store. Because also, side note, they leaked the Monaco cap at my store. I got Monaco caps 3 weeks ago. It was like the
I
tan
want the
with
Monaco cap.
it's so cute. Unfortunately, I do
It's
not have
so
$120 to
gorgeous.
spend, but
Wait, it was $120?
mm, but although I think for you it might be a
Never
little less.
mind.
It might be for you, I think I was looking on the website. It's 90 pounds on the Pirelli website,
I'm
but with
not spending £90 on a baseball cap
no,
or a Formula One cap.
The Pirelli hats at Miami, like the actual track, they were $210. US American dollars.
You're joking.
I'm I'm so dead serious. The pink Mercedes Miami hat, $150. I'm so serious.
Sorry?
I'm so deadly serious.
That is diabolical.
And I know people, because when I was looking at like tips and stuff for the actual Grand Prix, people were like, don't buy merch at the track. And now
Yeah.
I know why, because I'm not spending $210 on a hat. You
Jesus
have got to be out of your mind.
Christ.
Yeah.
Now I want to know how much the Suzuka House 26 cap was at the race because it was 50 quid,
Oh,
I want to say. But
it
that was
might be
at the New
like,
Era store. So
yeah.
I'm curious.
Mm,
I know. I didn't realize it was that inflated. Wow.
hmm
Okay. Yeah,
Crazy.
definitely. I don't need any more merch. I think I've got enough merch to last me a lifetime at this point. But,
I have my
oh,
collection, and that's the only reason why I bought it. But
yeah,
anyway, I
that's fair.
interrupted you.
No. What were we saying? Oh, your pole sitter.
Oh, my pole sitter.
Your pole sitter.
Um, I think I am gonna go rogue and say Max Verstappen. He
Oh,
was second in Miami and he didn't do too
very
bad
true.
last year. So I'm gonna go rogue and say him because
Okay.
those upgrades worked.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They did. They definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely did. Okay.
All right. Who is Oh wait, no, I think it's me now.
I don't know. Who's your third place for the Canadian Grand Prix?
My third place, Max Verstappen. I just think in race in race pace, in
Sorry.
strategy, race pace strategy, just overall straight line speed, the Red Bull cannot match up to the Merc. So
Mm-mm.
unfortunately, he will be demoted to third place, but he had a good run.
Pole to P3 is evil, and I love it. Oh my God.
I know my girlfriend will be mad about that, but I don't care. It's funny. And then Robin, who's your P3 for this lovely race this coming week?
Um, I did these on the radio show that I'm also on, which shout out Lights Out Let's Go F1
Shameless
show on
plug.
Mix Radio UK. Shameless plug. Go listen to us. We usually, yeah, like the week after.
Mm.
Um, but so I have already like got my predictions. But P3 for me, Mr. Oscar Piastri. Don't know why.
Shame.
I enjoy seeing him on the podium. He
He's so
suits
special.
the podium. Hopefully, he doesn't get stuck in more streamers. But yeah, I think I think he'll get on the podium.
Pirelli hats look good on his head.
They do.
I
They
can
really
say
do.
that. And who is your second for the race?
Um, I think because of his unfortunate history with starts, Mr. Kimi Antonelli is going to fall back a place or a
Mm.
few and then make it back up
Yeah.
to the second. Um, so yeah, Kimi Antonelli is my second place up for the Canadian Grand Prix. I was gonna say
Yes.
champion, but that's not the correct phrasing for that. Anyway, who is your second place?
My second place, you're gonna be just absolutely shocked, flabbergasted. It's my Shayla, my sweet cheese, my good time boy, Mr. Oscar Piastri. As I said just not a few moments ago, Pirelli caps look good on his head. I would
Mm-hmm.
like, no, I don't want to jinx it. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but
I'm intrigued now.
let's just say I hope he keeps his streak. I'm not saying if he's going
Oh,
to or not going to.
okay,
I hope
okay,
he keeps his
okay,
streak.
okay. I get it. I get it. I get it. I understand also not wanting to say
Yeah,
it.
Lord knows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your winner of the Canadian Grand Prix. Go.
My P1 winner of the Grand Prix du Canada, Mr. Saturday himself, Mr. George Russell. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like in our discussions he's kind of been like a dark horse
Yeah.
of sorts. However, we have been making jokes about his engine in the proper mode. I feel like he will get it in the proper mode this
Yes.
weekend.
Even if he
Um,
has to do it.
Even if he has to do it himself, he will put it in the proper mode and he's gonna put it P1. I'm
Mm-hmm.
missing a Pirelli cap on his head. He just looks
Yeah.
good in a baseball cap, I think,
Yeah.
especially one with Pirelli on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And I miss him out front. There's a reason he was being predicted to be the winner of the
Yeah.
championship. And while he may not be leading it now, given what we know from last year,
We've
things
got
can
a long
change.
way to go.
We've got a long way to go, and things can change in a blink of an eye. So yes,
Yes.
P1 for the Panera, the Canadian Grand Prix, Mr. George Russell.
Okay. Okay.
All right, and today, who do you have winning the famed not Panera but Grand Prix du Canada?
I am joining you, and I am putting Mr. Brit himself, George Russell, on the top step of the podium because again, I also miss him up there. I love both of them. They're kind of like not my circus, not my monkeys, but like my adjacent like family friends.
Monkeys in law.
Yeah, monkeys in law. Um, that's a great phrase. So I do enjoy. See, this is the thing. On race day, everyone who isn't Ferrari is my enemy.
Mm.
However, I do enjoy seeing Mercedes do well, and I do enjoy seeing the McLaren boys do well. I'm always just a little bit like bitter when it's at the expense of my boys. But
Yeah.
so I do enjoy seeing them on the top step, and I would like George to win
Mm.
everything. Um, just because I think can you imagine what that would do to someone's self-esteem if their two like second year like teammate wins? I not the point of this conversation. But anyway, I would love to see George back on the top step because
Yes,
God knows he needs
please.
it.
Yeah. He's going to start killing people if he is
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, he really is.
And let's not forget, the F1 Academy is also in
Mm-hmm.
Canada this weekend. So for I did an extra
Mm-hmm.
list of people, and there's so many races. There's 3 races because
There's a
they're
ridiculous
making
amount of
up for
races.
they're
Yeah.
making up for Jeddah getting canceled.
Yeah.
So for me, after also disclaimer, I have not watched China because I was not getting up at 2 in the morning to watch that. I love them
Mm-hmm.
dearly. I'm not going to do that. I was also on vacation at the time, but that's besides the point.
Yep.
My poll Emma Felbermeyer. She is supported by Audi and I believe is for MP Motorsports. Um,
Mhm.
so the new race for Canada and Austin at COTA is called the opening race. Do not know how that's different from the feature race, but pole is basically you're on pole for the quote unquote feature race, and then the reverse grid is spots 1 through 8 are flipped. So first
Yep.
starts eighth, etc. The opening race winner, again, not clear how it's like a different procedure from the feature race. Nina Gateman. She is supported by Alpine. She is supported by MP Motorsports as well, I believe.
Hmm.
And she went pretty well last year, and she's been doing like pretty decent this year. Obviously,
Yeah,
there's
she
only
did well
been
in China.
yeah, there's only been one race, so we don't know for sure, but I just have a good feeling about it.
Hmm.
The reverse grid winner is going to be the Mercedes-backed Peyton Westcott. I love her. I think she looks like Linda Cardellini. She is
Oh my
just
God, she does.
yes, like the face. I realized it when I was like looking at the
Yes.
drivers today. I was like, Linda Cardellini?
Yeah. That's crazy. Anyway, continue.
Yes. So I think because she scored a couple points
Hmm.
in the last few or the last two races that they had. I can't remember. I think she got third in China in one of the races. Can't remember which one, but she's going pretty well. So
Hmm.
she will be the reverse grid winner. And the feature race winner, I have my queen, Alicia Palmovsky. I absolutely adore her. I think she is so funny. I love her accent. I love her attitude. She's just friggin' awesome.
Yep.
And I think she will win the feature race because she is, I believe, second in the championship right now behind Emma Felmermeyer.
Mm.
She is in the Red Bull backed car, but not Red Bull Ford Racing, um which I think Chloe, oh, what's her name? Chloe, oh, this is so embarrassing. She's my favorite and
And that's real. I forgot my favorite one's name
this is
earlier and I
so
had to.
embarrassing. If somehow this comes across Chloe's feed, please forgive me. I am so sorry. But Chloe, the one
Yeah.
that she was in last year, they were both for campus racing and obviously
Chambers?
Campos, yeah.
No,
Um
like Chloe Chambers. Was that her name?
Chambers. Yes,
Yeah.
there we go. Thank you.
There we go.
I knew it was some name with a C, but I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But yes,
Chloe Chambers.
love my diva,
Hmm.
fellow Swiftie, obsessed with her.
Yep.
However, Alicia Palmovsky will win the feature race out in Canada this weekend.
Okay. Interesting. Very nice. Yeah. I did watch China because I was awake. I think it was because it was between qualifying and
Mm,
the sprint.
yeah.
Well, the sprint and I was awake and it was between two things, so I watched it. Um, and yeah, it was fun. The only two like I'm really bad with names a lot of the time. Um, so the only two that I like know of like on a regular basis is Alba Larson for obvious reasons she's backed by Ferrari
Hmm.
and Kaylee Countryman because she's at my house and they post her a lot, which I like, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, obviously two favorite teams
Hmm.
kind of f goes into F1A
Yeah.
as well. So yeah, I kind of just hope that they do well
Yeah.
every week.
I love
But
Alba Larson. I don't know if you've heard of what she's done for karting.
yes.
I
Hmm.
absolutely adore her. I think she's amazing. And
She's
it's great to
incredible.
see her graduate from the Tommy Hilfiger car up to the Ferrari Max car.
Yeah.
Um, I can't wait to watch F1 Academy this weekend because it will not be at the ass crack of dawn, my time. And I will have to go back and watch the two races from China just to see how everybody goes. And also Wei
Hmm.
Shi was the wild card for China.
Yes.
And then the I have the drivers up. The wild card for Canada is Canadian. You will be
Okay.
happy to hear. And it will be Autumn Fisher for the
Oh.
standard charter card, and she is supported by High Tech is her
Oh,
team.
okay.
So good for her. Very
Yeah.
excited to see F1 Academy. I've really missed them. I love the socials content that they're doing, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, F1 Academy, and those are our predictions for the Canada Grand Prix.
Very nice, very nice. I keep every time I say that, I just think of George. in Australia when he won and was doing the impression. All I can think of, and I keep doing it like him. Every single time I say very nice, I have to do it twice, and I
Very
have to say it
nice,
like
very
he did.
nice.
It's genuinely driving me insane. You're ruining my life.
Why did he do a Borat
I
impression?
don't
What is
know, but I
wrong
can't
with
stop doing
him?
it.
Oh my god.
I have not been able to stop doing it since Australia. Ruining my life. Anyway, should we do our race
So,
rewinds?
we shall. So, I'm gonna let you go first because I have quite a few. I have three and you have one. So, why don't you talk about Mexico
Okay,
2023?
yes, I will gladly talk about Mexico 2023 because it was a very interesting 2.5 hours of my life. Because it was, in fact, 2.5 hours long. Um, One thing, the mariachi band version of the theme always gets me going.
Banger.
I
Banger.
love it. It's so incredible. And oh, my third note is Charles on pole. How can this go wrong today, I wonder?
Nobody
He
show
did in
him
fact not
the
win.
yeah. Nobody show him the
There's
poll conversion stat.
oh, don't even because what I have this written down. This was his 11th race in a row that he started on pole and didn't win. In a row.
In a row?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I heard them say that and I was like, you have to be kidding me. This man's luck is diabolical. But this was the race where turn one, lap one, very start of the race, it's the Charles Leclerc Red Bull sandwich with Max on the inside and Sergio Perez on the outside. And it is, in fact, because he has nowhere to go, because Max is on the inside of him, Charles clips Checo and he DNFs the race, his home race, very first corner.
Oh.
So, not a great race for Sergio Perez, unfortunately. Um, they both got, so the Red Bulls got very, very, very good starts.
Mhm.
Max did go into P1 instantly. Uh, like before the first corner, he was in he was in P1.
Oh
It
my
was just
god.
very silent. They were just very close, but he was ahead of Charles going into the
Mm.
first corner. Um, so yeah, there was no way in hell Charles was going to win this race.
Mm-mm.
I knew that going in, but I was like, I can't believe he's on pole. Just how is this going to go wrong? Um, Also, 23 was the year where Aston Martin did really, really well in the
Yeah,
constructors,
they
and I
were
forgot
getting
about that.
podiums.
Yeah. I think they finished fourth in the constructors.
Wow.
Yeah, I think yeah, they did really well in 2023. Don't know what happened after that, but they did really well in 2023. Um, Ferrari allowed Mercedes to undercut them by not reacting to a Lewis pit, I think. I
Mhm.
think it was Lewis. And then the reason it was in fact 2.5 hours long is Kevin Magnussen crashed and caused a safety car. It was quite a bad crash. He wasn't injured, but it did cause a red flag.
Mhm.
And then they did a standing start restart. So there were two starts to the race.
Oh my god.
Um, and I would just like to glaze Lando Norris for this entire race because he started the restart in P9. He
Ooh.
started the race in P17.
Oh, was that when he got knocked out in Q1?
Probably. I didn't watch qualifying.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't remember what they said on the start either. I think it probably was that. But yeah,
Mhm.
so he started the race P17. He started the race restart P9. Terrible start and fell back to P14. He lost like 5 places.
Oh.
Yeah. And then he carved his way through the pack like a man possessed. And he finished fifth from
Wow.
17th. The number of overtakes, they said, I think it might have been Crofty at some point, or like one of them. Um, said he was going to have passed about 25 cars with only 18 left on track because two people were DNF'd at that
That's
point.
that's
He
crazy.
he was going for it. He
I
did
have to
not
give him
have
his
any
flowers.
fear. It was an incredible. You can see watching that. I'm like, yeah, okay, I know what your champion. Like watching that, it was incredible. And obviously Max was so far ahead that they just weren't paying attention to him, so all of the like attention was basically on Lando, and it was
Yeah.
great. Um, Ferrari and Lyco in a toxic relationship. We even knew. Um, Lewis did a very, very nice overtake, but it was unfortunately to get ahead of Charles. So it was a great overtake. He almost went on the grass. He was like a millimeter from the grass and
Ooh.
kept it on track and didn't spin out. It was a great overtake, but I was like, you're also taking over Charles Leclerc, so I'm a little bit mad at you. Um, oh, Fernando DNF'd. Um, yeah, wasn't great for. I think Lance Stroll also DNF'd. I think both Aston Martins DNF'd.
Damn.
Um, so not great. Yeah, yeah, he did. Um, Another thing on Lando, he overtook Danny Rick at one point, and you can kind of see the like trust they built as teammates because he did not
Mm.
let up the entire corner. And I don't think it was a corner where there's usually an overtake. So you could see the trust that he had in Daniel to like not send either of them spinning out. It was great. I really, really enjoyed watching this race. Um, oh, it was also fun watching Logan Sargent race because obviously,
Oh, my cousin.
yeah,
Oh, my cousin.
yeah.
Everywhere I go, I hear his voice. I see a peacock bass on the canal. My cousin, come home to me.
Yeah, and yeah, again, 11 races in a row that Charles Leclerc started on pole and didn't win, which is an awful stat.
That's
Um,
diabolical.
oh yeah, the post race because it was Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, 14 seconds behind, just, and then Charles Leclerc, and then Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, George Russell, Daniel Ricciardo, Oscar Piastri, Alex Albon in the points, and then Esteban
Oh, yay.
Ocon was 10th. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, so obviously post-race interviews is the top three. Charles was getting booed to hell and back by the Mexican fans for the
Oh my
turn one
God.
incident, and he was kind of like, guys, what was I supposed to do? There was a Red Bull on either side of me. I could not move. So I really felt terrible for him getting so booed. But he wasn't really fazed by it. He was kind of like, I'm really sorry. I didn't want to do it, but like, I could not go anywhere.
No, Mexico is infamous for that.
Yeah. So that was kind of funny. Was also the cool down room where Charles sits in Lewis's seat and no one stops him,
Uh,
and he's just chilling in P2. No one stops him because Max and Lewis both just stood up, and Charles just sits
mm.
in Lewis's seat, and they were like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Um, and last thing, I need to shout out my friend Elle at Can't Stop Him on Twitter because her profile picture is Max in the sombrero going up to the podium. And the second I saw him in that hat, I did the Leonardo DiCaprio meme of pointing at my screen. And I was like, that's Elle's profile picture. That's where this is what that's from. I instantly texted her in the group chat and I was like, Elle, it's you.
I
So,
love that they make them wear sombreros. That is so
yes.
funny.
So that was just a very fun way to sort of end the race. But yeah, it was very good. I don't remember. I think I gave it a 4 stars on
Mm.
BoxBoxed. Because I like logging my races. I like
Yeah.
logging everything that I watch and
Shout out to
read. It's
BoxBox, by
fun.
the way.
Shout out to BoxBoxed. Lovely admin, as well. But yeah, I think I gave it about if it's not loading, but I think I gave it about 4 stars. So
Mm.
yeah, overall very fun race. Now on to your plethora of
Oh,
races that you've
brother.
decided to
I have
watch.
three. So I made up for my mistakes from last time
Hmm.
and I watched Hungary 2012. However, I was
Hmm.
also assigned Abu Dhabi 2009
Yep.
and as a bonus I watched Spain 2016 as well. Again, 10-year anniversary of the infamous Mercedes crash. So I have
Yep.
so many notes because I don't realize how many notes I'm taking. It's like two scrolls worth of notes on my notes app.
Yeah,
So
I think
I'm just
mine
gonna
was
do
about that.
highlights.
Yeah.
Um, Lewis was on pole, and he had not won from pole since 2010. So this is still, remember, 2012. He hadn't won from pole since 2010.
Yeah.
And then just for this is the season where Sebastian Vettel overcame like a 30 or something whatever point deficit to win the championship again for the third time in a row. And Crofty, no, it wasn't Crofty. It was Martin Brundle at this point. Was it?
Yeah.
No, Crofty was there. Crofty was not there in 2009, which is the race I watched.
Right. Yes.
Um, so Martin Brundle said Mark Webber, again, for context, contextualizing this race, this was also the last race before the summer break. Mark Webber was the closest challenger to Fernando, and he was 30 points behind Fernando. Remember, this is Fernando at Ferrari.
Yeah.
Um, so Fernando was at Ferrari again using the number 5. Interesting. Kimi
Mm-hmm.
Raikkonen was at Lotus Renault.
Mm-hmm.
Fernando, also crazy stat dropped by Martin Brundle. Fernando was the only person thus far that season to not drop positions in the opening lap. So,
Wow.
all the more to him. And again,
Yeah.
contextualizing the early 2010s Formula One, Romain Grosjean was in second. He was starting P2 in a
Wow.
Lotus. It was his first time on front row, and of course he was teammates with Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah.
Nico Hulkenberg outqualified Mark Webber in a Force India. Daniel Ricciardo, crazy stat. Daniel Ricciardo was at Toro Rosso. Nico Rosberg outqualified Michael Schumacher because this is, I believe, Mercedes' first couple years on the grid.
Mm-hmm.
There were 24 teams on the grid because I believe
Mm-hmm.
they still had Manor and Minardi, if I'm remembering correctly. They
Right.
only had how they did tires. Also, this is like for context, this is the first old race, quote unquote, that I've watched. So I've seen like clips of other ones and good overtakes from the other ones, but this is like the first full length race I've watched from like since before 2020.
Yeah.
So they only had select compounds available. So they had like soft, medium, hard, super hard, and then the wet weather tires. So they only had medium, hard, and the wet tires available. So they only
Mm-hmm.
had like compounds selected by the FIA that they could use. So they couldn't like go out and use a soft if they wanted to.
Okay.
That was very new to me.
Yeah.
The Force India liveries were nice. They were colored the colors of the Indian flag.
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah.
The colors on the tires were also like flipped. So soft was yellow, medium was hard, and then hard was like a dark gray. And
Yeah. Okay.
there's yeah. Again, contextualizing the craziness of early 2010s. Romain Grosjean was 6th in the championship. Also, unbeknownst to me, it was like completely normal to do 2 and 3 stops back in those days. So when they said like they were
Yeah.
going for a 3 stopper, I was like, "Whoa, where did
Yeah.
this come from?"
They did so many stops, but it made it so much more interesting. Because I think the
Yeah,
tires were just worse.
yeah, I think they
Bring back
integrated a
worse
bit quicker.
tires.
No, I feel like that's what a lot of people have said is that the Pirelli
Yeah.
tires are too good now that there's not like
Yeah.
opportunities to stop and I don't think there's been like a puncture in like a year or two because they've been so other than from a crash or something, but they
Yeah.
have not just like blown up out of nowhere. Yeah.
Sorry, that's just reminding
So
me of there's one in race in 2016 where Seb's back tire does literally just blow up.
oh
It's really funny. It was unfortunate, but anyway, continue.
yes. So Lewis's pole was McLaren's 150th pole in Formula One. Bruno Senna was on the grid. There was an extra formation lap because they noticed that one of the cars wasn't. It was Michael Schumacher's car. His car was not starting right. I think it had stalled, so they pushed it to the pit lane, and he started from the pit
Oh.
lane, but he was still like P20 or something or P17,
Right.
like not a great start.
Yeah.
Um, immediate speeding of the pit lane penalty for Michael Schumacher. Pretty par for the course. Um, even with DRS, because this is still when DRS was still in its early days, it was hard to pass at Hungary. So, also, I'd like to say that old races weren't always super crazy as other
Mm.
people used to tell it. Sometimes they are just kind of there.
Yeah.
Um, so something else I noticed about this old race was that the commentators would like this sounds counterintuitive, but they would comment on team strategy a lot more than they do nowadays. Like they were talking like opinions about like the drivers themselves, and they were talking like team strategy that was coming over the team radios that they were hearing in their heads or their
Hmm.
headsets. They would not be caught dead doing that nowadays. They were like actively, they were like opinionating almost, and not just exactly
Yeah.
like commentating on what was happening. I haven't seen them do that in a long time. Um,
No.
but something else that I noticed is that McLaren had Tuned on their back wing, like the cartoon thing. I love Tuned. I think it's so cute.
Oh,
I used to watch. I watched all those like episodes. It was awesome. Um,
yeah.
Fernando has been keeping everybody in a DRS train since 2012, since DRS was introduced. You could
Incredible.
you could see like on the little inset box that they had on the screen, there was like Lewis and then Kimi Räikkönen and then Roman Grosjean and then Fernando Alonso and then all the dots behind him. Like bring back DRS just so Fernando Alonso can have DRS trains, please.
Literally. I miss the Fernando Alonso DRS trains.
Ah. Um, something that happened during the broadcast, baby Valtteri in the Williams garage, like like fully shaven, like baby Valtteri on the broadcast.
Oh my
McLaren had sucky pit stops. I said I'm so
God.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael, okay, let's not forget Michael Schumacher is insane. He got a drive-through penalty for the aforementioned speeding in the pit lane. He was 24 seconds behind the last back marker. It took him 7 laps to get the gap down to 2 seconds. So he was
What?
driving like a madman.
Oh my God.
Seb's helmet had two smiley faces on the back of it.
Amazing.
The Kimi Räikkönen Ferrari rumors were talking about like, oh, Kimi Räikkönen has been connected to Ferrari, and of course he moves back to Ferrari for the next couple seasons.
Yeah.
The timing tower setup was terrible. It
Yep.
like switched so you couldn't see the different positions, and then it went away sometimes, and then it came back. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the team radios, you could not hear a single thing. Pit stops were key this race, which I think goes back to what you were saying about how there needs to be more pit stops for
Yep.
stuff to happen.
Yep.
Um, it was what was it? So I think at one point they were three wide, and it was Jenson Button versus Bruno Senna versus Seb.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy stuff happening, and then because of pit stops and strategy and whatever, Jenson Button's race got absolutely shafted.
Oh.
He was he was P5 or something like that. He
Mm-hmm.
was pretty high up on the starting grid, but just bad calls. I think he finished like he was P15 at one point on straight like strategy
Whoa.
pace, and then I think he climbed up to 10th or ninth. Don't quote me on that, but it was something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Io Komatsu was on the Lotus pit wall.
Ah.
The white fireproof soaked in sweat and champagne leave very little to the imagination. I will say that. This is when Lewis had his terrible, awful, horrible, no good, very bad chin strap beard. Very glad he has done away
Oh.
with that.
Yeah.
And the flags used to be on boards that got like flipped around. It wasn't on like a screen. And I kind of like that. It was a little bit more
Mm.
tangible. Overall, this race again taught me a lot about how old races worked.
Yeah.
Um, really like contextualize these old rivalries and rumors and everything that
Mm-hmm.
I mean, personally, I've only just heard about. Um, then we get to Abu Dhabi 2009. So
Yes.
2009, obviously, this is the last race of Braun GP's historic season. There were
Yep.
only 17 races on the 2009 calendar. Jensen actually won the Drivers' Championship at Brazil, and he didn't actually
Yes.
win the championship in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
So the pit also, one thing I forgot to mention is that 2009 is the very, very first year that Abu Dhabi was used as a track. The pit exit to this day, it still stresses me the hell out. It makes like when they showed because they used to have marshals inside the pit, like the pit lane exit. I don't know if they still have them now, but there was like one tiny guardrail and then two guys. I think it might have been a marshal and a photographer, but they were like right there in the pit lane, and it still stresses me out.
Oh wow.
Um, Seb looks so tiny because he's just so small. One thing
Yeah.
about watching the old races is that it has endeared me to Sebastian Vettel
I love
so
him.
deeply. He's just like a little, he's a little nugget. And he's got
Yeah.
the bowl cut, and he was like to the camera, I love him.
I love him so much.
This was the season where Lewis it was the season after Lewis had just won his first championship, so he was still using number one. They
Right.
mentioned Florida some because they were talking about like the temperature and the humidity and the climate of Abu Dhabi.
Ah.
And as of the broadcast, only six drivers on the grid were confirmed for the 2010 season. So they hadn't done negotiations. Only six out of I think 22.
Six?
Six out of 22
That's
cars.
crazy.
Yeah. The island of Abu Dhabi itself was not even finished yet. Like Yas Marina, it was like one of the first things to happen on Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
Um, when they used to have the pictures for the drivers in the intro where they're talking about the grid, they did him so dirty with Sebastian Vettel's mugshot. It was just terrible. Um, Robert Kubica was on the grid for Williams. Fernando was in 15th. I think this is the GP2 engineer at McLaren, so he was not having a good
Wow.
time.
Yeah.
Romain Grosjean was really dead set on the sideburns. They went like all the way down, like almost to his neck. It was crazy.
Jesus Christ.
They were still using Bridgestone tires, so they hadn't switched over to Pirellis yet.
Okay.
Again, it was the first race on the Abu Dhabi circuit. The laps counter actually counted down. So it started at 66, then it went 65, 64, 63.
Oh.
Did not like that, I'm not gonna lie to you.
No.
Um, the cars, one thing that strikes me always when I'm watching old races is that the cars were so small. We're so used to people call them boats, and like they're not so much boats anymore, but they're very, very, very large.
Yeah.
I am just always so struck by how small the cars are in the olden days.
Mm.
And during the actual race, Rubens
Yeah.
Barrichello had contact. Parts of I believe it was either his front wing or part of like the side ballast. Parts of the car flew off of Rubens' car. Jensen was right behind him. They almost hit Jensen in the head, and they got stuck in Jensen's car.
Oh, I know exactly what you're on about.
Yes!
Yes.
It was like part of the wing.
Yes. And it very nearly killed Jensen
Yes.
Button.
Yes.
Yes. I do. Yeah. I remember seeing that in the documentary that they did. Yeah.
Nico was driving for BMW, Sauber. Ferrari had a terrible car that season. It was Kimi Räikkönen's last race before leaving for Renault. Michael Schumacher and Felipe Massa were both on the Ferrari pit wall.
Yeah.
And Nicole Scherzinger was Lewis Hamilton's boothang at that time.
Oh,
Martin Brundle said, and I quote, Nicole Scherzinger doesn't look too concerned with her man's pace, but she should be, because he was just not having a good time. Also forgot to mention Lewis was on pole.
Oh. What? Okay.
This was, yes. So Rubens Barrichello was the oldest man on track. Rubens was 37, Fernando was 27. And then Lewis retires after a rear brake problem after topping every other session that weekend. So he was, yeah. This is when they were still refueling cars. And
that stresses me out.
mm,
That stresses me out to no end.
Every point Williams scored that season was because of Nico Rosberg.
Both.
This was Fernando's last race before moving to Ferrari. The Red Bull lollipop lights were so cool because they had like, it was the Red Bull symbol, and then it was red for turn your revs up. They were still refueling, and then it was yellow for we're refueling now, and then they like they flipped it up, and then the car went. I thought that was pretty cool.
Cute.
Robert Kubica spun with Boemi. I don't remember his first name. And
Sebastian.
then here's a time capsule. Ferrari engineer Andrea Stella.
No way.
I'm dead serious. He was on the pit wall.
Crazy.
There was also an insane last lap battle between Mark Webber and Jenson Button. And that was some really close racing. He was like getting up on the inside, but he couldn't make it stick. And then he kept getting like closer and closer. You could see the car physically getting closer every lap. I mean, obviously, but it was like pretty close. Like his front wing was basically underneath the rear wing of the Red Bull.
Wow.
Something that also struck me when they were talking about after the race had finished, and I believe who won that race? It was Seb. Seb won that race.
Mhm.
And Martin Brundle said a sneak peek of what's coming next season. And of course, that's a season when Sebastian Vettel won his first championship, and it just really struck me. Um, the German anthem is just so long. And
It
I think
really
nowadays
is.
nowadays they use a shorter version, but back in those days, oh my God, it was so long. Um,
Yeah, it's long.
the Braun fireproofs were gray because they were reused so much throughout the season. And
Oh, lovely.
overall, I think this was also another race kind of won by pit strategy again.
hmm
In those days, that was basically what dictated. Well, not really, but mostly what dictated.
It was a
Um,
stronger decision. Like,
mhm.
it was a stronger part of who
Yeah.
won. Obviously, there was
And
still stuff with driver and
mhm.
engineering, but the pit
And
strategy definitely made it
DRS was
interesting.
still in its early days, so this
Mm.
was not like as powerful as it is now. They still had curves, but it was like very limited. This is only the first or second season that they had been using DRS since 2007 or 2008. I can't remember when there was that whole last lap, whatever. Maybe it was 2010. I don't know. Anyway,
I
I'm
don't
getting ahead of
remember.
myself. Now, the last little nugget I watched Spain 2016, 10 years
Yes.
after it had happened.
Yes.
Some notes.
I love that
Ne
race. It is such a good race.
so, first on the grid before the start, Nico had out qualified Lewis in the previous three races. So this was the
Yep.
fifth race. So Lewis was on pole first race, and then it was Nico, and then Lewis was on pole. No, Nico was on pole again.
hmm
Um, lap one, Nico Rosberg has an excellent overtake on Lewis round the outside before it all comes crashing down lap one.
Yep.
I did not realize in all these years of hearing about Spain 2016, I did not realize it was lap one, turn four.
Yep.
Immediately out.
Yep.
Immediately out.
Very start of the race. Instantly,
Yeah.
both DNF.
hmm Um, in the actual like race commentary and the FIA notifications, they accidentally summoned Kimi Räikkönen to the stewards instead of Nico
How
because
do
they
you do that?
I don't know, maybe there was a button where it was like because Nico was six and Kimi Räikkönen was seven, then
Uh, so
they accidentally pressed Kimi's button instead of Nico's. Um,
maybe, yeah.
and of course, when we talk about Spain 2016, we also have to talk about this is also the youngest ever podium sitter race winner of all
Yep.
time with Max Verstappen. So the
Yes.
previous record of the youngest podium sitter slash race winner was Sebastian Vettel, who was still on the grid
Mhm.
at that time for Ferrari, at 20 years and 89 days.
Yep.
And the up until that point, also, we have to mention this was also Max Verstappen's first race in the actual like full-time
Yeah.
Red Bull seat. Um, the
Crazy first weekend with Red Bull.
Seb's old podium where he had that youngest ever pole sitter record was the only podium Toro Rosso had until 2019 with Daniel Kvyat at Hockenheim.
Oh, that's
Also
fun.
during the race, prior to that day, Spain 2016, Max Verstappen had never even led a lap of a race. So he was truly like thrown into the fire.
Yep.
And then Martin Brundle said something funny and he said, get his clogs down in terms of like passing Daniel Ricciardo for the race lead because after Daniel Ricciardo or after Lewis and Nico collided, Daniel Ricciardo inherited the lead.
hmm
Um, Niki Lauda was there. He was pissed off. Um, the Esteban Gutierrez was driving for Haas, and
Yep.
Jillian Palmer was still at Lotus,
Yep.
and that was a really good overtake that they had. It was super close. Um, also, I just have to comment the Williams Martini livery banger. Um, the 3D driver tracker is kind of like it's almost like risen and then it's more of like geographic features rather than just the regular
Mm.
like inset box that they had. I kind of miss that and I wish they
Yep.
would bring it back, especially for some of the larger tracks.
Yeah. Or at least the
Um
ones that have like really, really large elevation levels.
yeah, like
Like, that
Coda.
would be
Like how fun
really
would
cool
that
to
be?
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um In funny deja vu terms, Nico Hulkenberg DNF'd because his brakes caught on fire. Like fire coming out of the back of the car. Wonder when that happened.
Ah.
When the fire marshal was spraying it, like the fire with fire extinguisher, the foam flew all the way back on the other marshal because the wind was so strong. Like you can see it in the race replay. The cars kind of sound, they don't really sound how they have in the past couple years. It sounds more similar to last year versus this year.
Mhm.
Fernando retires because that car was just woeful.
Yep.
And then something that Crofty said, because he was trying to overtake, I forget if it was Seb, Kimmy, or Max, but Crofty said that was almost utter brilliance from Daniel Ricciardo. And if I have not heard a more encapsulating thing that encapsulates his entire career, I don't know what that is. Um,
No, that like is basically Daniel Ricciardo's entire career
yeah.
in one sentence.
hmm
Yeah.
Roman Grosjean also retired. No idea what happened there.
No.
And Max Verstappen's helmet was sparkly. So it had like
Yes.
sparkles in the back. And his win for Red Bull was the first since Spa 2014 when Daniel Ricciardo beat out Sebastian Vettel. And that is also the season where Sebastian Vettel did not ever win a race. Um, so basically, what I learned from the past couple of races that I watched, at least,
Yep.
is pit stops used to be so much more important than they are today. I mean, of course,
Hmm.
they're important, but it was really more of like a determining factor in where you
Yeah.
finished in the race. Put together with that, you only had like certain compounds available versus nowadays where you have any of the three and then you have the wet weather tires if you want.
Did Spain 2016 have the ultra soft, super soft, softs, mediums?
Did it?
It
I,
like
I think it did.
partway through the season, because obviously I watched the whole lot, they added in the hards. But up until then, it was like ultra soft, super soft, soft, and medium, and like the mediums were the hards basically. And
That's crazy.
yeah, the ultra softs were purple.
I think they did have them, but it was one of those where
Yeah,
they only had like select compounds
yeah,
at the race because it was
but
also
yeah,
so hot because the degradation was so strong that they couldn't
yeah,
even like I don't think a single person put on softs unless like a P20 did or something like that. But it was
mm,
not like a front runner or anything.
yeah. But yeah, it watching 2016 was really interesting to see the level of like the number of tire compounds that they had to use and the fact that so many of them were softs.
hmm
I do genuinely think we should bring back worse tires. It would make racing
I
more
I
interesting.
agree.
They are too good now.
hmm
Because you can't be doing 50 laps on a hard and then complaining when the driver doesn't do well. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's a different conversation entirely, but just started thinking about Esteban.
Mm.
But yeah, they're too good now. They definitely need to just
Make them a little bit worse.
yeah, just to like not like devastatingly worse where they're unusable, just like slightly worse. So they kind of degrade a bit more, and then we have to pit more.
hmm I'm fully behind that.
So now that we have done our race rewinds, it is now time to get a new one, basically. Okay, this one will be your one because we
Okay.
do it that way. I forget it makes a noise and it scares me every time.
There are
It
so many little
is.
slots in that wheel.
There's oh,
Oh! Ooh.
2006 Brazilian Grand Prix.
I love Brazilian Grand Prix. This will be
Hmm.
very interesting.
This will be very interesting. I'm excited
Okay.
to see what you get from that one. Okay, my one. There are so many races on this wheel. It's actually ridiculous. Okay. Okay, 2009 Chinese Grand Prix.
Okay.
Very
Interesting.
nice. I'm not gonna say it twice. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing
Proud
that.
of you.
Thank you. All right. So for next time, we have our new races, which are very interesting. They're both in the before pre-2010s.
Mm-hmm.
So no Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this will
Huh.
be I think this will be my first race without Mercedes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huge. I'm excited. And it's Braun GP.
Yeah.
Very
Oh
excited
my
to
God,
see
I'm
them on the.
jealous. Wait, no,
You just watched the
that's
Braun GP race.
no, that's the no, I got the Brazil one. Sorry, I'm mixing up my
You got the
years.
Brazilian. Yeah, I didn't
Yes,
get
I
the
got the
one that
Brazil.
I do wonder which of us is gonna get the one where Jensen
Yeah.
wins because I know he gets P5. Like he doesn't actually win the race or get on the podium, but he wins the championship.
Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yep, yep.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. You can follow us at the Double DSQ everywhere. And then you can also go ahead and email us at the double DSQ pod@gmail.com if you have any questions, suggestions, comments, anything you have like that. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you after the track.